Okay, you are in the kitchen with www.jelly007.com. And tonight, in the Instant Pot, although you can do it many different ways, but it's going to end up as the world's best macaroni and cheese, at least in my opinion. And it's really just got a couple of extra things that a lot of people don't do. This right here is one of them. You cook it in bone broth, chicken bone broth. And when you do, it gives it like an umami, if you would. I mean, it's obviously going to give it a different flavor than water, and I think you'll really like it. Now, this is the combination of cheeses I use, which is a cup and a quarter, that whole bag of Parmesan, 2 cups of mozzarella, and I use mild cheddar. You could use sharp, but that's 2 cups of it. And I also add this to kind of loosen it up, if you will. You know what I mean? After it's already mixed together in this pot. Because what I'm going to do is cook my rigatoni in the Instant Pot, or any way you want, honestly. But the Instant Pot works fantastic. And I'll cook it in the Instant Pot with 32 ounces of this bone broth. And then I'll add the cheeses and the heavy cream and salt, whatever, you know. But anyhow, the point is that once it's done, ever how you want to cook this in that bone broth, when you add these combinations, it works great, but this is really one of the points to it. And I think you'll agree. But anyhow, I'm going to get some of it started and bring you back along the way, kind of show you what's going on, how it looks in the Instant Pot method. But I will be right back, and we'll look at that. Okay, by the way, that was a full 1-pound box of rigatoni. I use rigatoni because it's a little larger diameter of the holes, and it has ridges. So I don't know if you can see that. I think it just holds cheese a little better than macaroni, but you could use macaroni, of course. And then you just put the full pound in whatever method you're going to use to cook it. And then this full 32-ounce box of chicken bone broth. And in the Instant Pot, it's really easy because you do it all right here, pretty much. I mean, and I'm going to give that a stir with something, just to make sure everything looks good, and it does. And then with the Instant Pot, all you do, put it on, hit pressure cook, bring it down to 4 minutes. And that is it. Of course, you seal the lid. You make sure you put it on seal. That cooks for 4 minutes, and you do a quick release. So, no need in watching this. We'll be back when I get that done. In fact, I'll bring it back and show you how it looks as I open it. So, we'll do that now. I'll be right back. Okay, so there goes the timer. And the only reason I'm showing you this is because, just so you'll know, and I already said it, but you got to do the quick release. And that took about 10 minutes, if you're keeping up with time, to come to pressure. So either way, I'm going to do a quick release, and we'll be right back. Okay, so there went the pin. So all we have to do now is open it. And I'm going to move this lid, but you can see that it's, like always, it is pretty much perfect every time. And we'll get a piece out and just see if it is al dente. I'm going to let it cool a little bit. But even if you have a little liquid, and I may have a little bit, but it doesn't matter. You're going to add, I mean, it's going to be too thick with just straight cheese anyhow. So that chicken broth, or that chicken bone broth, really works well to loosen it up a little bit. But that is cooked perfect. I mean, it's as good as you're going to get. It really is. I mean, the Instant Pot's a great way to cook it. But all I have to do now is I'm probably going to set the camera up. I'm going to move it back again. And we're going to put the cheese in it. So I'll be right back when I get my camera set up again. Okay, so I will mention these packets of cheese, that they work out perfect for this recipe because this is the way Sargento sells them, and that's the particular brand I like to use. Like this Parmesan is 1 1/4 cup. I didn't remove any. That's just how it comes. And then this is 2 cups, and this is 2 cups, and that's exactly the measurements I use. So for this particular setup, I mean, you can do less. Obviously, cut the recipe in half or double it, whatever. And I did hear a lot about I read a lot about on the internet about it foaming. I've never had that problem doing this. Now I did have it a little close to my countertop, so I got some water on here where I should have moved that, but it didn't foam. I didn't have that problem. But anyhow, I'm going to start with the cheddar. I don't know why, just because. I'm going to put the whole bag of cheddar in, and I'm just going to stir it till it kind of dissolves up, melts down a little bit. And then we're going to go with the mozzarella. We'll show you what it looks like in just a minute. Mozzarella goes next. But this is an excellent, and I do mean excellent recipe, and everybody here loves it. I carry it to a lot of functions. I used to do it in a rice cooker. That's how I started this, and I converted it to this recipe right here. And like I said, it's a good one. This takes a little bit of time. I don't want to rush it because I want that cheese to melt. All the cheeses I just put in there. So I'm trying to keep from rushing it, but trying to keep the video from being as long too. But that looks good to me. Now, the whole bag of Parmesan. And honestly, I mean, sometimes, I'm going to put a little bit of cream in it just because I want heavy cream in it. But it's not going to need a lot, I don't think. We'll see. It's look and feel. It always is, you know, with anything. I mean, it just is. And the bone broth gives it such a good flavor, you know, I don't want to try and compromise it. I think it's the star of the show, quite honestly. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to try and move that camera with it rolling. And show you how it looks right now, because this is pretty close, especially if you added a little bit of cheese on top of it. But there is what it looks like with just those cheeses. Now obviously you can put this in a bowl, put cracker crumbs on top of it, put it under a broiler, take a blowtorch. I mean, I've really done it several times with a lot of different foods. But I don't have to tell you, that really doesn't need very much. But I'm going to add a little bit of heavy cream. Just because I do want some in there. And that's probably going to be about, well, this is a 16-ounce carton, so that's probably 8 ounces maybe. I'm going to guess that at 8 ounces. And let's see if I can tilt. Well, that pretty much is the recipe. And you can leave it and serve it right in here, just eat it up. You can brown it without putting, honestly, when I do brown it, I rarely put breadcrumbs on it. I just brown it. And it kind of gives it, you know, burn the edges or whatever if you put it in a dish with a torch or under a broiler. And just make sure you use broiler proof and, you know, stuff like that. I mean, I got to tell you all that. You should know that. I'm sure you do, but you wouldn't want to put this in just any dish and then stick it under a broiler. So, that right there is it for right now. I'm going to let that sit just a minute, and I'm going to bring you back and show you how it looks when I'm in a bowl. And we're going to eat some of it. And I'll be right back. Okay, so now for the real test, which is, you know, eating it. And I did put a little bit of a few pinches of salt. And also, one of the ways you could serve this, which would really make it over the top, is in maybe a ramekin or even a cast iron dish, and then brown it. You know, put it in here and then brown it with a torch or under the broiler. But just for the record, I'm gonna tell you, this is and has been my favorite macaroni and cheese for a long time. Again, I did it in a rice cooker, strangely enough, for quite a while, but I love it. The Instant Pot's the best way I've ever came up with doing it. You may have a better way. And by the way, if you're gonna cook it on the stovetop, it definitely needs to be adjusted. You know, you have to adjust to your, how you would normally cook. It might be a little different on the stovetop in a, you know, in a pot. But anyhow, that is the world's best to me, and I really mean it. It's excellent, and it makes a decent amount for like I said, to carry to somebody, to carry to an event or whatever you're doing. Put the lid back on, take the whole Instant Pot, plug it back in, press warm. But anyhow, in the kitchen with Jelly, www.jelly007.com. Y'all come back to see me, and I appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, share, all the above. Y'all have a good night. Bye-bye.